Dan Murphy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Championship Sunday here on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Super Bowl Sunday, in fact. We're glad you're spending part of your day with us as we move into our championship week. First of all, here in singles competition, and we are left with our top two seeds, Tom Morgan and Steve Vadney.
Two quality Candlepin bowlers, and neither one of them is going to be a welcome addition to our Tournament of Champions in the spring.
That's right. One of these guys will be moving on to that fifth annual Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. Let's introduce him to you. First of all, our number two seed, looking for his second win in a row after a win out last week. From Revere, Massachusetts, Tom Morgan.
Okay, Tom comes in averaging 127, has a high triple of 490, and his roll-off score on making the show was 686.
And last week, Tom rolled a 358 to knock off Dave Blaine in the semifinals. So now Tom will try and make it 2 wins in a row as he faces our number one seed, guy that you'll be seeing a lot of today here on TV 50, from Claremont, New Hampshire, Steve Vadney.
Okay, and Steve comes in averaging 126, has a high triple of 488. And his roll-off score, the top roll-off score in the roll-off, was 691.
All right, we will take a little break and then come back. Of course, big money on the line today. $500 to the runner-up, $1,000 to the winner, and in addition to the $1,000, also a spot in the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. We'll be back, get this match started right after these messages. Don't go away. All right, we're down to our final two bowlers in this series. Number 2 seed Tom Morgan battles number 1 seed Steve Vadney this afternoon here on Stars and Strikes. And don't forget, coming up immediately following at 1 o'clock, we will have our Stars and Strikes doubles championship match as well. And that one will also feature Steve Vadney. He'll be partnered with Mike Sargent. They will face Chuck Godzik and Peter Flynn. The winner of this show and the winning doubles team from the next hour will move into the Spring Tournament of Champions, sponsored by Tri-State Megabucks. And not quite for Tom.
Good effort, though. Try to slap the piece of wood off the right side wall and come back for the 4-pin.
Already qualified for the Singles Tournament of Champions, Paul Berger, 464. Peter Flynn, 403. Bob Mazer, 374. The scores, of course, are the scores that they rolled in their championship matches. Those are the scores that determine the seeding in the Tournament of Champions, and Tom Morgan comes up with the big strike in the second.
Quick strike. Didn't see many of those quick ones the last couple of weeks. Steve Vadney.
Spares in the first. I think Steve was a little worried about that ball.
Yeah, a little hop in the air there, just a little body English.
Right through the middle, he actually got a bit of a break, not only on the count, which is 6, but also the way that wood turned.
Shouldn't have any problem with the 2, 3, and 4. The 9 could be another problem.
Oh, just caught it.
So 2 in a row for Steve Vadney, starting it off.
Tom just clipped the head pin with that. He's working on a strike.
Nice 10 by Tom. 7-10, plays the wood. Let's take a look. Right where the 2 pieces of wood meet. And now up on lane 31 for his 4th frame, and right through the middle, spread eagle. Make it 7, 45 through 4.
Not quite, leaving the 7 and the 9. Steve knew he had a chance at that. He waited to make sure the wood was completely stopped. Hard to believe that all the times that Steve Vadney has been on our programs that he has never qualified for the singles tournament of champions. He was paired with Joe Ashline last year in the doubles tournament of champions, and they won it, winning 3 straight matches, beating Gary Carrington and Jack Ray in the championship match, terrific match, winning by 3. But in the 4 previous singles tournament of champions, Steve Vadney has not been able to get in. Tom Morgan was in last year's tournament of champions. He was the number 3 seed going in. He wound up losing a match to his brother Mike, who went on to win it. Mike Morgan, you might recall, won 4 matches last year to win the tournament of champions. 3 of those matches, he rolled 400 or better.
Play the 8-pin and should throw the wood into the 10. Very nicely done. So nice I gave him a 10 instead of a spare.
Oh, go ahead and give him the spare.
And the 5-9 left, 8-pin drop on the spare. Trying to make it 2 in a row.
Does. Back-to-back spares. Steve a little off target with that one. He's got the 1, 8, 9, and 10. That piece of wood is in play in the front.
Looked like he might have stumbled at the foul line that first ball. He had a slim lead of 2, but he'll lose that because he's opposite a spare 8.
Right before the show started, Dan, Steve's uncle came up to me, Bob Salmon from Evanston, Illinois, in town.
Flew in for the match?
Yes. Wanted to know how he could get us on the tube out in Evanston. I told him we're working on it. Oh, my. First the 1-5, followed by the 2-8. Now I think Steve's waiting for a bowling ball.
Yeah, I was going to say, now no bowling balls.
Oh, here comes one.
Steve turned around to us and said, no bowling balls, like we could really, we're holding them, you know? No, I'm just kidding. Wanted them to check the machine, but they're all coming back now. You know, they didn't work that well for him in that box. I'd start with the lane balls. 2 in a row for Tom Morgan. And a 10-pin advantage, and he'll increase that lead with this ball.
The 3, the 6, and the 7. And yes, the spare, 3 in a row.
Got a nice kick this time and comes across, not the traditional way, off the wall and over for the 7-pin. But it's a spare. And he got a good break there with the pin sliding forward. Just a 6-fill on the spare, 2, 4, 7, and the 3-pin, but a piece of wood in between. 3-pin and the wood could take it. Not quite.
Looked like he was too much over to the right.
And turn the wood in front of the 7-pin instead of pushing it directly toward the 7.
Vadney started with 2 marks, but he's been laboring a little since then. And he tried for the full 10 box there and takes the 8.
Might not be as much as trying for the 10 box as saying, listen, I got to get the ball on the head pins early in the match. Let me shoot at it now, see if I can make the adjustment on the approach.
That's very true. That might have been a little bit of a test ball right there for Steve, that last one. Nine, and a 26-pin lead for Tom Morgan to this point.
Three, 5, 6, 10. Oh, everything but the 5.
Mentioned that Paul Berger is the top qualifier for the Tournament of Champions right now with a 464. Paul, with that score, qualified for his 5th straight Tournament of Champions. He's been in all of them. The only man right now to be in all 5 events. He's the only one that's got a shot at it. And the 10 for Tom, and a 126 opening game. Steve knows that he can cut into this lead with a mark in either of the last 2 boxes. What he'd love is both. Now there's one. His first mark since the 2nd frame.
Could fill another mark and get it down to around 10, possibly even into the single numbers.
Just caught a little bit of the head pin. It'll be an 8 drop.
I actually couldn't put in the single numbers, but he can make it a lot closer. He's looking at the 5-7. Wants that wood to move in a little closer to the 5. Go way to the left-hand tip of the wood. Well, he's high.
Nope. Well, he does pick up some ground, though. 8 pins, to be exact, in the final 2. So the difference is 18. 126 for Tom Morgan, 108 for Steve Vadney. 2 games to go to decide the championship. And we're going to give you that bonus ball contest information. $60 on the line at the end of this week's show. We'll be back in a minute. Well, we're looking for our first winner of the new year in our bonus ball contest. $60 in the jackpot at the end of this show. Of course, our winning bowler will throw the bonus ball. If the number of pins that drop matches the number on your postcard and we draw it out, you win the cash in the jackpot. Plus, you and the bowler will each win a brand new set of bowling balls, compliments of Paramount Industries in Medway, Mass. So be sure and send your regular size postcards only, please, with your name, your full address, and that number from 1 to 10, and send them into Park Place Lanes, Route 28, Windham, New Hampshire, 03087. Steve Vadney. $18 pins down to start game 2, and boy, that was kind of a funny hit.
It's getting better.
What did he take out? It looked like 3 right at the beginning. Very thin hit. And the 5 pin will stay standing. $10. $500 to the runner-up today. $1,000 to the winner. And more importantly, to the winner goes a guaranteed spot in the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. The folks at Tri-State Megabucks, of course, the presenting sponsors of Candlepin Bowling here on the Winds. Just imagine being rich. You'll never know unless you give it a try. Tri-State Megabucks. 8 for Steve. Tom Morgan off that 126 opening game has the lead. Goes Brooklyn side this time.
3, 5, 6, 9, 10.
Let's see if it gets all the way over there. Nope. And a 10.
Oh, that close. Everything but the 6. And I'm sure Tommy realized that 18 pins this early in the match against Steve Vadney is certainly not enough. A pair of 10s. Gains 2 more pins on that lead to an even 20 now.
Talking about last year, Steve Vadney winning the first doubles tournament of champions with Joe Ashline as his partner. And Steve gets a break now with the strike, his first of the match.
Took a while, but ball was in the 1-3 pocket. Wood came rolling across, left with a triangle, and finally the 3-pin or 2-pin, the last one to topple for the strike.
We talked about last year in the singles tournament of champions. Mike Morgan won it by virtue of the fact that he won 4 straight matches to come from the number 4 seeded spot to win it. Mike was in both tournaments last year. He was the only man to make it to both the singles and doubles tournament of champions. Steve has a chance here today. He's got this match here, and coming up at 1, he's got a doubles championship match. Could be a big day for him. And of course, one of the guys he's facing on the opposite team in doubles today is Peter Flynn, who's already qualified in singles.
Still looking at 4 more pins. Hit the object pin twice with the first 2 balls. That's a tough 9. Lead now is reduced to 11.
.610. Watch out for the wood, though. Looks like it'll stay okay for Tom. Spare in the 4th. Tom Morgan in the lead just at about the halfway point of our series championship match here on Stars and Strikes. We'll be back with more of the action in a minute. Steve Vadney. No, big first ball. Will it
could
take
go?
It? No, on the 10-pin. Yes, for the spare. Mark number 5 for Steve Vadney. Off target. Just 3 on the spare. Oh, nice 10 bucks. And a nice recovery, too, after the 3 fill on the spare.
This gets by the front piece of wood, splits the 6 and a 10. And the 6 goes over and knocks down the 7 pin. Tommy working on a spare. Got a break with a 10 pin going out. And there's an 8 drop. 4-7 left, another piece of wood in front. Should help. 2 in a row.
So he's building on the lead right now here in game 2. Upset with himself. He thought he had that one. Should have had it.
Yeah, he's upset at missing the head pin, which would have just about assured himself of making the spare.
The lead 22.
It's a big ball for Steve Vadney. Just the 4 pin.
Next week, starting at 12 noon, we'll be spending the month of February with a little change from the normal format here on Stars and Strikes and on doubles as well. Here on Stars and Strikes at noon next week, we'll begin our annual mixed doubles series, and that will be followed at 1 o'clock over the next 4 weeks by our ladies doubles series.
Try to hit the 2 pin, have the wood snap into the 6, and it didn't quite make it. .96 through 8.
Quick reminder also that when you make your way down here to Park Place Lanes, whether it's to do some bowling on your own or to join us here for a live taping session here of Candlepin Stars and Strikes, be sure you stop into the Willow Tree Restaurant. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Terrific food. Great service right here inside Park Place Lanes at the Willow Tree Restaurant.
Where the crew eats.
That's the only slogan they need. You can't get a higher endorsement than that.
That's for sure.
Oh, you could see that one coming a mile away. Spread eagle. Tom threw that ball very straight and right down the middle.
Well, hits his object pin twice, and he's still looking at 5 pins. 3, 6, 10 on the right, 4, 7 left.
Difference in this match now, just 10 pins. Neither man has been able to really seize control of this one.
Both of them are working extremely hard, too. Not to make any big mistakes, like missing a spare leave or having a bad frame. 5 goes out. 4, 7, 10.
Hoping for that little piece of wood to snap over. The ball goes over and almost takes it.
Ball went over and hit the plate just behind the 10 pin.
$9. Let's see what happened. Right there. It doesn't look like there's any room back there, but there is. Behind that back row of pins.
The 7, the 8, and the 9.
Here's a leave you can't practice very often.
Nope. It's a makeable spare, though, because of the double wood in front of the 7 and another piece in between the 8 and the 9. But, of course, you have to worry about the 7. I thought the 7 was a sure pin to go down. And it's a 10.
For a 115, 223 after 2. And Tom Morgan is blasting right through the middle again. It looks like he might be able to fit the ball between the 2-pin and the piece of wood, but he elects to go the other way.
I might have given it a chance, especially with the other piece of wood in the channel. So the first piece is going to come out a lot easier.
Three straight 8 boxes for Tom Morgan.
Left 7 pins standing the last 4 boxes. Those could come back to haunt you a lot of times, leaving a lot of pins standing after 3 balls.
Look out.
You may want that one to stand up.
1, 7, and 8. Boy, we've seen some odd leaves in this match. It's going to get harder if that wood keeps rolling to the right. I think maybe the 7 is the problem here. The wood looks like it might carry the 8. Let's see. No, missed it. Just missed it. Well, this thing's going to be very close. We're going to decide. Oh, nice 10 for Tom. We're going to decide this championship in the 3rd and final game. 106 for Tom Morgan, 232. And for Steve Vadney, 223. So just 9 pins the difference with 1 game to go. 1,000 to the winner, 500 to the runner-up, and we'll be back. 3-8. And because we like to try and answer some of the mail on the air, if you want to have your mail answered on this show, make sure it says Stars and Strikes. If you'd like it mentioned on Stars and Strikes doubles, then put doubles somewhere on the outside of the envelope.
Makes sense to me.
Yeah. And if your team doesn't win the Super Bowl today, write in and ask Dan why. He'll be able to tell you.
What is the score, by the way? Well, the game hasn't even come on yet.
People are having a
little
pre-party with us. You know, a little bowling party, and then...
Probably have eaten all the hors d'oeuvres. Didn't save us any. In fact, they didn't even tell us where they were.
It's almost gotten to the point now where the reason for the Super Bowl is for the parties, not for the game itself.
And Tom Morgan starts off with a spare. That's one way to protect 9-pin advantage.
I know one thing, ever go to the Super Bowl. I haven't been fortunate enough to go myself, but I know a lot of people who have. And when you go there, the main purpose is the parties, not the game itself. I can tell you that.
7-pin drop, 3, 7, 10, and a makeable spare. Because of the wood in between the 3 and the 7. Problem is probably going to be the 10 if you can capture the 3. And there it is. We still start looking at the other qualifying scores. However, I think Paul Berger might be safe. 464, 403.
Yeah, somebody'd have to throw a 200 game, a high 200 game.
Actually, they're all pretty safe. 374 could be in jeopardy. Throws a 140 something, but first and foremost is the win.
Well, that's right, and I'm sure the way it's been going today for both of these guys, they're just thinking about the win right now. It's a very close match, and no time to really worry about what the final score is going to be. And how about that for a shot?
It's a great shot. Not going to make a living making these shots, or shooting at these shots, I should say. If you could make all of them, you would make a living. That's a great shot by Steve Vadney. The 4-7, 6-10 matches the spare put up by Tom Morgan. Tom had 7. Steve is going to have a tough 5.
You know what I was just thinking during the break, too, is it's been a long, long time since we had a match go into extra frames.
Not on Super Bowl Sunday, are you?
Oh, this seems like the kind of a match that would, though, doesn't it?
Yeah. Both bowlers struggling, yet the scores are close. You're right. This is the type of match that we usually get a tie.
Of course, if there is a tie, the bowlers will go 2 additional boxes.
Oh, I was thinking sudden death. That's football.
And you roll the 2 additional boxes as if they were the 9th and 10th. So you fill the marks in the 10th, or in the second box, as if they were the 10th. And if the scores are continue still tied after the extra 2, then we go 2 more.
4-pin for Tom Morgan. Right on it. 2 out of 3 boxes are Mark's third game. Increased his lead now to 13.
Oh, big strike on spare.
Huge strike, where the match is going right now.
Second strike for Tom Morgan. The first one was way back in the early stages of the match. That's a big one right there. I think Steve Vadney thought he might have had a half Worcester on that ball.
Got a lucky break, but still has to pick it up. 1, 2, and 8.
Steve Vadney looking to make his first, or qualify for his first, singles tournament of champions. Tom Morgan looking to qualify for his second. It would be his second in a row.
The lead is now ballooned to 24, and he still has, he meaning Tom Morgan, has a strike working.
Nope. Slips by to the right. It's a 9-box and time for a break. With 6 boxes remaining in our championship match, Tom Morgan in the lead, and he'll be filling a strike when we return.
This week it's Mike Sargent and Steve Vadney versus Chuck Gotzik and Peter Flynn.
Look out, this could all go. It does.
Stars and Strikes doubles today at 1 on TV 50.
Here's Tom Morgan. He'll be working on a strike. The lead is already 25 plus Phil on the strike. Off the head pin. And off the head pin again. .74 half, but more importantly, the lead is now 33, as you say. Two, 7, 10. One piece of wood,
which may come into play. Looks good.
Yes. Oh,
looks real good.
That's a great shot right there.
Just on the 2-pin, ball takes the 7, wood takes the 10. It's 4 marks out of 6 boxes now for Tom Morgan in his third game.
Oh, big strike, Steve Vadney, when he needed it. He's got to get something going. He could certainly use a double.
And he's switched bowling balls. He switched to another set of bowling balls, and he throws a strike, and I think we have a protest lodged by Tom Morgan. He just turned and say, hey.
Nope. 8 Phil. He gains temporarily, but of course now he's going to be opposite a spare by Tom Morgan in the 6th. And the 9. So right now the situation is this. Tom Morgan again, much the same as he had 2 boxes ago. He's leading by 25 plus the fill here. And the fill is 10.
It's a little serious now. You see the ball in the 1-3 pocket. 7-pin goes with a strike on spare. Missing the head pin this time. 1, 3, 7, 8.
Ooh, pretty good looking shot on the way. Well, Tom is in control of the match and has to worry about that. But when he does come up for his final two, he will have a shot at overtaking Bob Mazur's 374. He needs a 143 to do it. So he'll need 2 marks. I take it back. He'll only need 1 mark. For Steve, and time is running short.
That's for sure. 43 pins down. He's got to come up with some strikes.
Back with the red bowling ball now.
The way those are working, I don't think they're going to go home with him.
I guess he's got both of them up there now. He's a mixed set now. Well, 44 is the lead, so Tom Morgan can get 17 pins in these final two. It'll be all over. This may go with a ball right down the middle.
Well, if I wouldn't maybe go the left-hand tip. You never know, but he's going to need a mark here to upstage Bob Mazur with that 374.
He's got 130. If he gets a mark and a 3 fill, he will surpass Bob Mazur's 374. There's a mark. Big strike in the 10th. His 4th strike of the match. He's had 3 of them here in this game. Well, he's passed Bob Mazur, and he has also clinched this match. A 9 fill, a 149, and congratulations from Steve Vadney. 381 is the total for Tom Morgan, and he will advance to the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. And right now he sits in 3rd position of the 4 bowlers who've qualified. Spare for Steve in the 9th. Boy, even now, the 7-10. And not quite. $10 for Steve, 114 and a 337. And Steve and Tom will say hello and talk a little bit about this match during the break. As we take a break, we'll come back, talk to both bowlers. We'll hand out the prize money, and we'll also see if we can't come up with a winner in our bonus ball contest. Tom Morgan has advanced to the Tri-State Megabucks Tournament of Champions. We'll be back with more in a minute. Well, we're halfway through our championship Sunday here on Super Bowl Sunday on Candlepin Stars and Strikes. Doug Brown along with Dan Murphy, and this time it was Tom Morgan's day. We talked about Steve Vadney's frustrations in trying to get into the Singles Tournament of Champions. He's going to have to try and come back sometime real quick before the end of the season to get another shot this year.
Somehow I think he'll show up again. He usually does, and it's just a matter of time. You're not going to keep somebody with that kind of talent way too much longer, but it's one of those days. He hit Tommy on a day that it was close until the 3rd game, and then Tommy just took control.
All right, let's chat with both of our bowlers. First of all, let's call up Steve Vadney. A round of applause for him. I've got a good news and bad news. The bad news is you don't get to come into the Tournament of Champions yet, but the good news is I do have a check for you for $500 as the runner-up, and boy, tough sledding, I think, for both you guys, really. But Tom was able to hold you off in the long run.
Yeah. He finally found the secret today, I guess. We both were trying everything, and I guess I just like traveling.
That's right. You want to come and see us again, right?
Right.
Well, I know you must know the way by heart. You could probably do it in your sleep at this point.
Right. Yeah, it's, I don't know, what it is. One of those days when you just can't get it on. And, geez, I even pulled another ball out of the bag there. At one point, and I threw a strike. Oh, that was it.
That was going to be my next question. What is the difference? And is that something you've tried before to change?
Just a little lighter ball.
Yeah.
And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Unfortunately, there was only one strike on that other ball.
Right. I should have took that ball back, marked it.
Well, Steve, congratulations again. Always good to see you. And, in fact, we'll be seeing you again in a few minutes on doubles. Right. So congratulations.
Okay,
thanks very much, Steve. And now let's have Tom Morgan come up, fresh off his half Worcester from last week's bonus ball. We'll see if he can do something a little bit more likely to create a winner here. $60 in the jackpot. Tom looks like he's a little more serious about it this time. What do you think? Well, it's still working. 6.
3 times as serious.
It's a winner for Nancy Spearman from Wilmot Flat, New Hampshire. Do you know where that is? I don't think I've ever heard of that.
No.
Wilmot Flat. Does anyone know where Wilmot Flat is? Okay, it's up in the Claremont area. Okay, up near where Steve is from. It's Nancy Spearman, so congratulations, Nancy. $60 cash for you, and also a brand new set of bowling balls, and for Tom Morgan, a brand new set as well. And
all above my average.
brand new set of bowling balls. Maybe you can use them for the Tournament of Champions coming up in the spring.
I was thinking of buying a set. Just right about now. Timing couldn't be better. Thank God I'm not a good bowler. Look at that.
tough match of struggle, really.
It is. It's been a struggle. I just couldn't find the roll. Last string, a couple balls worked. I mean, I don't know. I moved so much up there, I was getting dizzy. I was sideways, backwards, frontwards. I tried the left, the in-suit, forget it.
I think that's probably the temptation, too, especially in a short match. You want to try and make changes, but that can be tough, too, because there's not much time.
It is. It's not a lot of time. But like I say, if you start running the middle, you want to move a half a board either way. I did that, then I missed the head pin. Then I take a little off my ball, I get no wax. I put a little on my ball, I run the middle. I said, Jesus, what's left? Next.
Well, you found the right answers, at least, to get into the tournament, and I know you'll be excited about that because that'll be the second year in a row that you've made it.
Yeah, and hopefully things will turn out a little better. My brother's not here to carry me so far yet this year. Last year I went on his coattails. I got half that money. So far I got to do it on my own.
Well, congratulations for making it. We'll be seeing you in the spring.
Great, thank you.
All right, Tom Morgan, congratulations. Oh, before you go away, let me take care of one other detail too. He's so polite. He's so polite. He's so polite. He wasn't going to say anything. But here's a check for $1,000.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Tom. Oh, he's just such a nice guy. He wasn't going to say anything about it. I almost forgot.
You didn't realize how expensive those bowling balls really were.
Well, now he's got it all. He's got the brand new bowling balls, and he's got $1,000. So, and he's also got a spot in the Tournament of Champions, which will be coming up in the spring. And stay tuned because we're just underway here. We've still got another match to go with Steve Vadney back again to try and win it in doubles and get into that tournament.
I'll be here.
And I will be too. We hope you'll stick around. We've got another hour coming on Stars and Strikes doubles. Until then, for Dan Murphy and the whole crew, Doug Brown, so long from Wyndham.